Apple story and the backlash to this new ad, as you are seeing right now, for its brand new iPads. What it shows is musical instruments, paint, other creative type tools literally getting crushed, seemingly showing you that you can now do all of those things on a new, slimmer, thinner iPad. But many are saying that the iPad and Apple are crushing something else, and that is, dun dun dun, humanity.
Indeed.
All right. Steve Kovac is here with more on this story. This is kind of polarizing.
Yeah.
Mostly because of the reaction. I saw the ad, and I would say I immediately didn't think, oh my God, humanity's
That
being
was my
crushed.
reaction.
I did. I'm like, save the
Did you
piano.
really?
Okay.
Yes.
That was my- okay,
It's like
so-
this giant, scary-looking steel thing crushing all the life out of the world.
To a report from Reuters citing two sources familiar with the matter. Now, this, of course, would raise the stake in its competition with the search king Google. So once again, OpenAI planning to announce its Google search competitor, according to Reuters.
So a lab-grown diamond, can you tell the difference if you don't have like a jeweler's magnifying?
You absolutely cannot tell the difference. Chemically, they are identical to natural diamonds. They're just grown above the ground with amazing technology and craft, and natural diamonds are grown under the ground. So, but they're both beautiful and unique and amazing products.
But they're cheaper for lab-grown ones.
They are cheaper, and I think that's resonating really well with consumers right now. You get a real diamond, you get an amazing look for a price that's a little easier on the budget, which is really resonating well in this environment. We've seen great adoption from our customers in the lab-grown space, first in engagement, and now we're beginning to see the same trends in fashion as well.
Autofocus on your phone to predictive text has always been there. It's always been a part of our lives. And as a creator, I suspect it can only enhance what you've got. You know, I always like to say that it's artificial intelligence and actual intelligence. You can't use one without the other. So in my opinion, it's never going to take over the creative process. It's going to enhance it. But of course, yes, I see people who are a little bit trepidatious about it. I think the pandemic definitely accelerated what's happening to us right now, because we had to find innovative ways to connect and continue. Okay, human beings are like water, you know, they'll just keep moving, and if it gets blocked, they'll find a crack. So this is what's happened, I think, and it's accelerated it. It does mean that, you know, people can work and are connected from different parts of the world, and we're seeing that more and more. This productivity allows that connectivity to happen. But the truth is, you still need human beings behind it. Even whether I'm in a studio in London and the director's in LA, we're still connected by the technology. So I think it can be a multiplier. It's just very different from the way we used to do things.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And we have Apple's new ad on the iPad. And we've seen technology come in, especially in music, was one of the first places. And that's the reason why I did the video with Barry White. Remember, this was back in the 80s when he stated that technology would replace humanity. And now we can go to just about every single sector, and we see how technology is definitely going to replace humanity in the workforce. I know it sounds like a movie, but remember, your life is an illusion, and TV is your reality. If you think about it, guys, right now, the slave, the person that goes to work every single day, has the power. But as soon as this technology takes over, all that power is in the hands of a few powerful families. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have OpenAI plans to announce a Google search competitor. And with these searches, they're collecting all this data. And eventually they're going to dangle that carrot and pay you to use that data against you. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And everything in the fourth industrial revolution is going to be fake. We have lab-grown diamonds, lab-grown meat, lab-grown vegetables. Remember, your chef is now a scientist. You get no nutrition whatsoever. And what do you think that's for, people? What do you think that's going to eventually do to the body? I'm just going to let that sit there. Now we have the actor Idris Elba, and we know he was at Davos. And I've watched so many James Bond movies, it's hard for me to trust anyone with that accent. And then we know when he does his movies, he doesn't even have an accent. But we definitely know he's a puppet. But he speaks about AI. You're still going to need humans behind it. Yes, instead of the 500, you're just going to need one human. That's the whole point. We can go right now in the stock market and look at the market caps of the old companies with hundreds of thousands of employees, and then take these new technology companies like Netflix with only 13,000, but it has the same market cap. They're making more money with less people. It's all about productivity, and you are all of them saying the same thing. Productivity. Remember, the machines don't need a lunch break. They're not going to call out. They don't need insurance, and they're definitely not talking back. And then, guys, we have immigration. And those who are part of my Patreons know I've done several videos on this. I gave you exactly what the mission was, and now we're starting to see it. The whole point of this immigration is to bring on these digital IDs, the free money, the affordable housing. You don't have to ask Americans, should illegals vote? We already know that's against the Constitution. We don't need any new law. The reason why they're trying to do a law, because they want to bring in the technology, the digital ID plus these wallets. But they're going to use the Hegelian dialectic to divide and conquer in order to move us forward inside the fourth industrial revolution, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
It's about the SAVE Act, and it's safeguard American voter eligibility so that it would ensure that only U.S. citizens are able to vote in federal elections. It would require a proof of citizenship to register. I mean, it sounds like, wait, we don't do that now, but I guess we don't. But is there any chance that sees the light of day? And do you think in this next election there will be many, many, many non-U.S. citizens able to vote?
I certainly know and believe and understand that is the design, I think, of why they opened the border. I mean, this sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it's the only theory that makes sense, that Joe Biden and Mayorkas engineered the wide open border. They've allowed, by our count, my estimate is about 16 million illegals since Joe Biden walked into the Oval Office 3.5 years ago. And they did this because they ultimately, some in that party and some who engineered this, wanted to turn them into voters, and they wanted to affect the outcome of the next census by spreading them around the country. We're going to work on both of those issues, but that first one is, you're right, it is a violation of federal law right now. It's against statutory law for an illegal to vote in an election, in a federal election. But there's no way for the states to ask someone, if they check the box and say I'm a citizen, when they do the motor voter registration, if that's actually true. There's no mechanism to prove it, believe it or not. And so we're going to fix that. We're bringing a bill, the SAVE Act, that will solve that problem. I think it's common sense.
But the Democrats won't. I don't know what they'd come up with something, but that won't pass, will it?
It will be stunning if they vote against that. Some will, but they'll have to explain why they're in opposing existing federal law and why they want illegals to vote in U.S. elections. Good luck with that one.
They got a very good reason.
Right, but they can't say the quiet part out loud. We're about to find out. 76% of the American people understand that's a priority, and by some polls, 86% of the American people want only U.S. citizens to vote in U.S. elections. What a concept, right?
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence.
I hate when countries go off the dollar. I would not allow countries to go off the dollar, because when we lose that standard, that will be like losing a revolutionary war. That will be a hit to our country, just like losing a war. And we can't let that happen. And too many countries now are fighting to get off the dollar.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.